Greetings, viewers, and welcome to this latest episode of the Nationalist View. And in the India and World segment, we have a very special guest, Mr. Salahuddin Choudhury Saab. Mr. Choudhury, a very warm welcome from all of us. And Mr. Choudhury is editor-in-chief of Blitz Weekly, which is one of the top investigative media platforms in Bangladesh. And he is also an expert in counterterrorism. He contributes regularly to several think tanks, international conferences, international publications, and is also on expert panel of several international media platforms where he shares his views, thoughts, and perspective. And he has been talking to us, fortunately, over a series of conversations about what is happening in Bangladesh, especially in the context of the scenario which is developing there post Sheikh Hasina. That is when Sheikh Hasina was ousted in the first week of August in a coup. And since then, government, which is considered to be puppet of US deep state, has been installed there, and the radical Islamic elements have upped their ante. There has been massive violence against Hindus and other minorities, and the most dangerous thing which is happening now, about which we are going to have a conversation today, is that how Bangladesh is becoming a puppet in the hand of Bangladesh government is becoming a puppet in the hand of Pakistan's ISI, and what are its implications for India? How Pakistan's ISI is trying to use Bangladesh to target India with the help of specifically Yunus regime. So, Mr. Chaudhary, my first question is that you have tweeted about it also, that there are reports and there is credible information that United Liberation Front of Burma, a terrorist organization which has been banned in India, which is generally known as ULFA. So its bases are going to be most likely going to be set up in Bangladesh with the help of Pakistan's ASI and backing of Yunus regime. So kindly, if you can elaborate upon this and what are the implications for India?
Thank you very much. Regarding this very disturbing case of ULFA re-establishing its basis, why I say re-establish, because when Sheikh Hasina was in power from 2009, she gradually dismantled all the ULFA camps in this country. Not only ULFA, there were some other camps of the insurgency groups from the northeast. Now, this time, most importantly, as I have also tweeted, you have seen that suddenly within the Chittagong Hill Tracts Kastalong Reserve Forest, which is somewhere in the bank of Masalong River, there are open movement of ULFA for the last several weeks. And when I say open, I mean it is even taking place during the broad daylight. And I would like to inform the respected audience of your platform that the area that I have mentioned, there is a heavy presence of Bangladesh armed forces for decades. So it means that Bangladesh armed forces are not being allowed to intervene or intercept or interrupt into the activities of ULFA within that deforest area. And second thing is, as you know, we have also discussed on your esteemed platform that Bangladesh has waived the provision of a security clearance for issuing visas to Pakistani nationals and Pakistan-born nationals anywhere in the world. So for that reason, taking advantage of that provision, now people are entering from Pakistan and we really don't know who is who. For example, as you have also covered, we have also reported in place that a few weeks ago, U.S. State Department wanted Al-Qaeda kingpin operative Sayyid Ziaul Haq, who is accused of murdering American citizen and who is wanted by the Biden's State Department. So he entered Bangladesh using a Pakistani passport, and we don't know which name he has been using. So, I mean, this particular case proves that Pakistanis are entering under disguise. And now to that Chittagong Hill Tract area where we are talking about ULFA activities. We have also mentioned I have mentioned in my tweet that there are two colonels of Pakistani ISI who are supervising these activities. So unless there is a state patronization to such activities, it is impossible. And what Yunus regime is doing, as you and I both know, that Yunus is a puppet of Democratic Party's dictate and Pakistani ISI, and their joint target actually, in this case, Pakistani ISI has a different agenda, and American Democratic Party's dictate has a different agenda. Democratic Party's dictate comprising Soros, Obama, Clinton's, and also Biden. Their intention and agenda is to somehow grab the 24 well oil blocks in Bay of Bengal and other natural resources in Bangladesh, including the business of liquefied natural gas. And on the other hand, ISI's agenda is, as we know, Pakistan is already a bankrupt nation. So they want to use Bangladesh not only for terrorist activities, but also for narco trafficking, transnational narco trafficking, through which they actually are making money. Because you also are a counterterrorism expert, and you know until now, Bangladesh was not under the radar of DEA or any other international narcotic combating organizations, institutions. Now, taking the advantage, they're using the land of Bangladesh. So this ULFA presence is, I mean, now we have tweeted almost 24 hours back ago, and categorically we have mentioned the location. And there is no denial from the Bangladeshi authorities. I think since this is a very serious security threat to India's national security, and I mean, now I'm looking forward that the Indian authorities would like to may either raise this issue with the Yunus regime, but it will be useless using it because the Yunus regime has the culture and habit of denial. So I'm hoping that India will bring this issue to the attention of international community. And when I said international community is, of course, Trump administration. And at the same time, I am looking forward that this matter would massively come up in the regional and international media so that the people will know what is happening.
Mr. Chaudhary, another development which has happened, that is the Bangladesh Ordinance Factory, which is the largest ammunition producing government unit of Bangladesh, and which was catering to most of the a significant part of requirement of the Bangladesh armed forces. So for the first time, it has done tie-up with Pakistan's. There are reports that there is a tie-up with Pakistan's Pakistani establishment, and now Pakistan will be producing its missiles like Shaheen, which are specifically actually targeted against India. So Shaheen will be reproduced in the name of Bijoy 2. Mr. A. Hussain has also written an article which has been produced by Indian Defense Review. So there are some details in that, and you have also been mentioning these details in your tweets and in your on your platform also. So, in fact, when I was reading about this, countries like Belgium had earlier offered Bangladesh Ordnance Factory to have a collaboration with them, but the Bangladesh Ordnance Factory had refused that. And now, after Yunus regime has come, so ironically, Pakistan, which carried out a massacre, a genocide of people in East Pakistan, which then became Bangladesh. So with them now a tie-up is being done. So and that too to produce the arms and ammunition which will be actually used by the Pakistan, and of course the prime target of that is basically India. So how do you look at this?
This particular news which you are referring to It appeared in Indian Defense News, and which is penned by Mr. M.A. Hussain, who is a very eminent writer, and also he is a defense expert. I mean, he has been writing for many years in various international newspapers and news platforms. And this news was not broken by Blitz, it was by Mr. Emma Hussain in Indian Defense News, because it's more or less, it is a very purely defense category type of report. So we generally in Blitz, we publish reports related to counterterrorism, but it is a completely a different thing. Now, what you have mentioned, I have also read, and I have tried to cross-check. So Bangladesh Ordinance Factory, which is the only factory in this country, located in Ghazipur district. I mean, Ghazipur district, when I say, it is just 8 to 10 kilometers from Dhaka city. And this is the factory where we have been producing ammunition required for our armed forces. But basically, we have been importing, we meaning our armed forces, has been importing ammunition from India, from China, from Belgium, and also from the United States. Now, as you know, that letting this ordnance factory into the hands of Pakistanis, and when we say Pakistan Army, in fact, there is no distinctive difference between Pakistan Army and Pakistani ISI, because this is almost the other side of the same coin. So according to that report by Mr. Emma Hussain, Bangladesh has already signed the agreement with the Pakistan Arms Ordnance Factory or Army, and 100 Pakistani experts will be taking care of our ordnance factory. In other words, in my personal views, that they are taking over our own ordnance factory and letting an ordnance factory into the hands of Pakistani army, which is also known as a terror patron armed forces. I mean, they are a terrorist also. Pakistan army is not army; they are also terrorists. And when just now when we talked about this mobilization of ULFA elements within this Chittagong Hills tract, so this ammunition they will manufacture or produce. Where they will go, it can go to our armed forces. It can also go to the terrorist groups like ULFA. It can go to Arakan Army. It can go to anywhere. So this is a very disturbing scenario. And as far as the another point that I have seen in the Indian Defense News, that Pakistan is attempting to make prototype of their Shaheen 2 missile in Bangladesh, giving it the name of Bijoy 24. Now, with the 6 months track record of Yunus regime, the way they have been publicly moving towards Pakistan, the way they have been patronizing, encouraging Al Qaeda, Islamic State, Hizb ut-Tahrir, and anti-India, anti-Hindu, anti-Christian elements in Bangladesh. So Yunus can go up to any length because he is really a person who is just a person without any. I mean, he is like another Joe Biden. He is a puppet driven by other forces, other elements, and taking that advantage of Yunus being not a leader, a greedy person, like without any moral, and these kind of the elements are very useful tools for any foreign vested interest group. So when you are talking about producing this missile in Bangladesh, Shaheen 2 or Bijoy 24, I think they can even, I'm not sure, but they may even use our ordnance factory for producing various types of explosives. I mean, the improvised explosive device. Sorry. They can also produce many other sorts of military hardware under the disguise of running the Bangladesh Ordnance Factory. And as you mentioned, that Belgium had also expressed its willingness to cooperate with this factory. Not only Belgium, there was also, to my understanding, knowledge, there were also similar proposals from United States, from India, from China. So I mean, by giving this factory to Pakistan, Bangladeshi, this Yunus regime has actually, if I would like to tell you very frankly, that he has turned our ordinance factory into an epicenter and breeding ground of terrorist elements, and which is very dangerous.
My last question in this segment is that uh, there is an interesting development in Bangladesh, which is again a cause of concern that there's this academician named Dr. Nabila Idris. So she has been appointed as member of the Disappearance Commission. Now, this Disappearance Commission, for our viewers, I'll just share a couple of things briefly. This Disappearance Commission was set up after Sheikh Hasina was ousted, as I mentioned earlier, in the first week of August, and her party Awami League, of course, was also ousted from the power, replaced by Muhammad Yunus. And After that, disappearance commission has been set up basically to verify the allegations that a lot of the public personalities had disappeared during Awami League's regime. So basically means that they were kind of either imprisoned in unauthorized prisons, or they were basically targeted through what we call black ops, or kind of there have been extrajudicial killings. So that's broadly there were allegations, and to look into these allegations, the disappearance commission was set up. Mr. Chaudhary will correct me wherever I have gone wrong when he'll reply to my question. So now this Dr. Nabila Idris, she is known to be very close to terrorist organization, Islamic radical organization Hizbut Tahrir. She's also known to have she has been carefully kind of established, positioned by certain media organizations like Pratham Alo and the Daily Star in Bangladesh. This is what Mr. M.A. Hussain has written in his article, which I am basically kind of sharing with the viewers. So, and she has always been basically kind of a proponent of Islamic radicalization. So her induction into uh, this disappearance commission. So it is seen as broadly a very strong kind of offensive on the Bangladesh democratic institution network. So how do you see this, Mr. Chaudhary?
This disappearance commission, or the issue of disappearance, before I address your valid question, I would like to say that during the entire tenure of Awami League, there was an organization called Maya Duck. If I interpret it in English, it's called Call of Mother. And this Maya Duck was getting full um, patronization from Donald Lu, Victoria Nolan, and Peter Haas, and Democratic parties, deep state. And they were screaming that members of their families are being disappeared. They were carrying photographs, and they were demanding their return from, in their words, so-called Aina Ghar meaning the house of mirror. In other words, that what they mean, that Bangladeshi DGFI and other intelligence agencies, they're maintaining some kind of secret detention camps like Guantanamo Bay, and where they're holding people. Immediately after Sheikh Hasina was ousted from power, and when you are talking about the Disappearance Commission, this Maya Duck suddenly vanished into the air. We don't see their existence. So this Maya Duck and the so-called demand of disappearance of the family members, and now where it has gone, where they are, why they are not coming up, my question. Secondly, you see during this Yunus, the revolution, so-called, against Sheikh Hasina, many of their so-called martyrs, they are reappearing as if they are walking out of the graveyard or walking out of the cremation field. I mean, dead people are returning, the so-called martyrs. So this Disappearance Commission, I am not very much well aware of the lady that you mentioned. I never heard her name actually. But about the Disappearance Commission, there are controversies that the some of the key elements in the Disappearance Commission. They belong to certain political party, in fact, Jamaat Islami. And also there is a very serious allegation about one of the key figures in the Disappearance Commission of his direct family connections with the Sayyid Ziaul Haq, Al-Qaeda's wanted terrorist. So what Yunus is doing, whether it is Disappearance Commission, whether it is Justice Commission, whether it is Truth Commission, he is Yunus. So Yunus is, whatever he is doing, he is another Khamenei or Khomeini of Iran, and he is placing many Ibrahim Raisis into key positions. And you and I know who was Ibrahim Raisi. He was the butcher of Tehran, known as butcher of Tehran. So a government regime which does not have any credibility, a regime which is absolutely Islamist, absolutely belonging to Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, Hizb ut-Tahrir, anti-Bharat, anti-India, anti-Hindu, anti-Christian sentiment, and aspiring to turn my country into a caliphate. I personally believe that the Trump administration, which will be taking oath within few hours from now, I think there should be immediate investigation by the President Donald Trump, not by the so-called United Nations, because I have been saying for decades that United Nations is a dirty diaper. It is a worthless and useless organization. I think there should be a joint commission formed by Trump administration and the Modi administration very immediately, and that commission should investigate the Disappearance Commission or cases of disappearance, or even the ongoing trials into Yunus tribunals and courts. Because as I said, Yunus is another Ayatollah Khomeini, and he can only put some Ibrahim Raisis into various commissions. So these commissions, whatever name you have kindly mentioned, I think these are immaterial. Most of the entire system under Yunus is illegal, and Yunus belongs to jail. Yunus and his cronies belongs to jail. They must be in jail, and they must be hanged actually, because they have committed high treason. They must be hanged, and they must be tried. And I am now looking forward because new era is beginning within several hours, and this era is the scope of fresh breathing for the entire world, and particularly a new era of collaboration between India and the United States. Now, through you and through your esteemed platform, I'm calling upon President Trump and his administration, including Tulsi Gabbard, Cash Patel, Mr. J.D. Vance, and others, also Mr. Rubio, to immediately form an investigation committee. And before more damage is done to Bangladesh, I mean, they are doing massive damage to Bangladesh, my country. There should be immediate international sanctions on Yunus and his cronies, so that they cannot advance their heinous plot further. And I think this is very important and essential, in my opinion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chaudhary. And to our viewers, if you have any questions for Mr. Chaudhary, please share it in the YouTube comment box. We'll take it to Mr. Chaudhary and he'll answer them for you. And if you have enjoyed the conversation, please share the video, like it, and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon, and you'll keep on getting the notifications. And once again, Mr. Chaudhary, thank you so much for taking out time. And you are in Dhaka in the middle of so much of action and doing some great journalism. So it's a very inspiring kind of for journalists like us to see someone like you braving all the odds and still coming out with explosive investigative reports and on ground information. We'll keep on having chats with Mr. Chaudhary, and this is it for now. Thank you so much once again. Thank you viewers for watching the video. Thank you.